Hello, hello! Pizza Pax here, and we're back with Throwback Thursday, episode number 42. This week, we have from the Sydney 2002 World Championships, the quarterfinalist deck of Sim Han Hao. So let's get into this. This is stored in a humid environment, apparently. Let's see, Sim Han Hao's blue, green, red Squirrel Opposition deck can be aggressive with cards like Wild Mongrel and Flametongue Kavu, or it can play the stalling game with Squirrel Nest Opposition combo. Beware the roar of the worms in the sideboard. Man, I've been having trouble talking today. It's complete mushmouth. Alright, Sim Han Hao's Squirrel Opposition deck. Let's see, creatures, 4 Birds of Paradise, 3 Flametongue Kavu, 3 Llanowar Elves, 4 Merfolk Looter, 3 Phantom Centaur, 4 Wild Mongrel, and then we have spells, 4 Circular Logic, 3 Deep Analysis, 3 Fire Knights, 4 Opposition, 3 Squirrel Nest. Huh, pretty sure this entire deck is premodern legal. For lands, we have 8 forests, 5 islands, 3 Carpolution forests, 2 Shivan Reef, 4 Yavimaya Coast. And then in the sideboard, we have 1 Flametongue Kavu, 3 Gainsay, 3 Quiet Speculation, 2 Ray of Revelation, 4 Roar of the Worm, and 2 Simoon. So let's take a look at what we get. Alright, collect all 4 World Championship decks. Relive the excitement of the 2002 World Championships with these 4 commemorative decks. Carlos Ramao, World Champion. Ramao's blue-black Psychotog deck was the defining deck of the tournament. A control deck at heart with lots of card drawing and counter magic. It wants to stall an opponent until it can play a devastating upheaval and Psychotog on the same turn. Next we have Sim Han Hao. This deck, quarterfinalist. Han Hao's blue, green, red Squirrel Opposition deck. It can be aggressive with cards like Wild Mongrel and Flametongue Kavu, or it can play the stalling game with a Squirrel Nest Opposition combo. Beware the roar of the worms in the sideboard. Then last week we had Brian Kibler, 11th place. Kibler's green, white, red zone 2k2 deck loves to put creatures into the red zone, that is, attack with them. This aggressive deck can play over 30 creatures on the board, and with Glory in the Graveyard, few defenses can prevail against their onslaught. And the week before last, we had Raphael Levy, 16th place. Levy's blue-green Le Wonder Goose deck features a ton of small green creatures like Nimble Mongoose and Werebear. With careful study and mental note to get to Threshold, however, these small creatures quickly turn into real monsters. Nice. We will kick over to the sideboard to start off with. Sim Han Hao, quarterfinalist. Malaysian national champion Sim Han Hao raised some eyebrows by posting a 6-0 record with his blue-green-red Squirrel Opposition deck. This deck tried to get out lots of Squirrel tokens with Squirrel Nest before using Opposition to tie up the opponent's creatures and mana. Han Hao won quite a few games using some tricky sideboarding, such as pulling out his enchantments and bringing in more beatdown cards like Flametongue Kavu and Roar of the Worm. Besides being a top Magic player, Han Hao is also a student at Bandar Utama College in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Very cool. Right. So, getting things started, we have Flametongue Kavu from Planeshift. Art by Pete Ventures. It's 3 in a red for 4/2 Kavu. When it comes into play, it deals 4 damage to target creature. Gainsay from Planeshift. Art by Roger Raup. 1 and a blue, instant, counter target blue spell. 3 copies of Gainsay. Next up, Quiet Speculation from Judgment. Art by John Avon. 1 and a blue, sorcery. Search target player's library for up to 3 cards with flashback and put them into that player's graveyard. Then that player shuffles his or her library. Nice. It's basically a tutor for a 3-card tutor for flashback cards, if you build around it. And we have 3 copies of Quiet Speculation. Next up, we have Ray of Revelation. This is also from Judgment. Art by Doug Chaffee. 1 and a white, instant, destroy target enchantment, flashback for a green. Nice. Still played pretty heavily in the formats that it's legal too, such as Premodern and Pauper. We have 2 copies of Ray of Revelation. Roar of the Worm, another Premodern All-Star, and a Standard All-Star at the time. This is from Odyssey, art by Kev Walker. 6 and a green for sorcery, put a 6/6 green worm creature token into play, and then flashback for 3 and a green. That's right, this is one of the rare things that has a cheaper flashback than its base cost. We have 4 copies of Roar of the Worm. And last but not least, we have Simoon from Invasion. Art by Tony Sakudlo. Red-green for an instant. Deals 1 damage to each creature target opponent controls. I have 2 copies. Very nice. Now for the main deck. We have 8 forests. This is the 7th edition printing with art by DJ Cleland Hura. Odyssey printing, art by Larry Elmore. 7th edition Rob Alexander art. Odyssey Rob Alexander art. 7th edition John Avon art. Odyssey Jerry Tiratilli art. 7th edition John Avon art. Odyssey Tony Sakudlo art. Then we have our 5 islands. Odyssey Alan Pollock art. Odyssey Ben Thompson art. 7th edition John Avon art. Odyssey Larry Elmore art. And Odyssey Rob Alexander art. Next up, we have 3 Carplusion Forests. This is the 7th edition printing with art by Scott Bailey. It's a land that taps for a colorless, and then you can also tap it for a green or a red, and it deals 1 damage to you. And we have 3 copies of Carplusion Forest. Next up, we have 2 copies of Shivan Reef. This is the Apocalypse printing with art by Rob Alexander. It's my favorite printing. You can tap it for a colorless, or you can tap it for a red or a green, or red or a blue. Red or blue, and it deals 1 damage to you. We have 2 copies of Shivan Reef. Next up, we have Yavimaya Coast, also from Apocalypse. The art on this one is by Anthony S. Waters. Sometimes shortened to Tony S. Waters. Taps for a colorless, and then taps for a green or blue, and deals 1 damage to you. And we have 4 copies of Yavimaya Coast. Next up, we have Birds of Paradise. This is the 7th edition Edward P. Beard Jr. art. For green, you get a 0/1 bird with flying, and then tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. 1, 2, 3, 4 copies. Next up, Flametongue Kavu from Plane Shift. Art by Pete Ventures. 3 and a red for a 4/2 Kavu. When it comes into play, it deals 4 damage to target creature. Still one of the best ETB creatures of the era. Let's see, next up we have Llanowar Elves with the 7th edition Jerry Tiratilli art. For a green, you get a 1/1 elf that taps for a green. Clean and simple. Also back in standard now, which is pretty nice. We have 3 copies of Llanowar Elves. Next up we have 4 Merfolk Looter. This is where the term looting comes from. Originally printed in Exodus, I believe. But this is the 7th edition printing with art by Tristan Elwell. 1 in a blue for a 1/1 merfolk. Tap, draw a card, then discard a card from your hand. We have 4 copies. Next up, Phantom Centaur from Judgment. Art by Carl Critchlow. 2 green for a 2/0 Centaur Spirit with protection from black. When it comes into play with 3 +1/+1 counters on it, and if damage would be dealt to it, prevent that damage and remove a +1/+1 counter. We have 3 Phantom Centaur. Excuse me. Next up, the defining creature of the era, Wild Mongrel. This is from Odyssey, art by Anthony S. Waters. And then 1 in a green for a 2/2 Hound. Discard a card from your hand. It gets +1/+1 and becomes a color of your choice until end of turn. We have 4 copies. Next up, Circular Logic from Torment, art also by Anthony S. Waters. 2 in a blue, instant, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. Madness for a blue, which pairs exceedingly well with Wild Mongrel. 4 copies of Circular Logic. Next up, we have Deep Analysis, also from Torment, art by Darren Bader. 3 and a blue for a sorcery. Target player draws 2 cards, and then flashback 1 in a blue and pay 3 life. So, good way to finish either your deck, or to draw in the late game, or draw twice. And also can be used to deck your opponents. We have 3 copies of Deep Analysis. And next up, we have Fire and Ice from Apocalypse. Fire has art by David Martin. Ice has art by Franz Vohwinkel. Fire is 1 in a red for an instant. Deals 2 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. And Ice is 1 in a blue instant. Tap target permanent, draw a card. Still a fantastic card that even sees modern play today. We have 3 copies of Fire and Ice. Next up, we have the 7th edition printing of Opposition, art by Mark Brill. 2 blue for an enchantment. Tap an untapped creature you control. Tap target artifact, creature, or land. And we have 4 copies of Opposition. Then last but not least, we have Squirrel Nest from Odyssey, art by Anthony S. Waters. 1 green for an enchant land. Enchanted land has tap. Put a 1/1 green squirrel creature token into play. Very nice. We have 3 copies. Alright, well, thank you for joining me on this adventure with Stemhanhau's quarterfinalist deck from the 2002 Sydney World Championships. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm. It really helps us out, and I really appreciate it. And until next time, stay awesome. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.